Hello and welcome to episode number 137 of WP Café. It's the show where we share the real, unfiltered experience of running a WordPress business. I'm Keith Devon and I'm joined by my co-host Mark Wilkinson. We are both from Highrise Digital, which is a tiny agency building WordPress websites and products. Today, we're going to be diving into the future for WordPress development for agencies and developers. It's a big topic. We're coming at it from a specific angle. So grab a hot drink and settle in as we explore what it's really like behind the scenes of running our WordPress business. You can follow us over on X at WP Cafe Show and find us on Blue Sky and the web. That is wpcafe.show. If you do enjoy this episode, please do hit subscribe and like. And that little bell notification thing, that's really important. Talk to us if you're watching along live on YouTube. Say hi in the comments. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and join the conversation as we chat through the various topics. And if you wouldn't mind, if you've been a long-time listener, or even if it's your first time, if you could just share the show, just retweet the link you saw or whatever, repost it on Blue Sky. That would be super helpful. So on to the show. Mark, how have you been? What's new?
Oh, I don't know about what's new. I've been all right. Yeah, it's been a good week. I've had some development to do, which is always nice. We all seem to be doing less and less development these days. Maybe we'll talk about that in the future of WordPress.
I think we will.
But I've actually been doing some development this week, which has been quite nice to get stuck in, and also frustrating, but I like it. It's good. Fixing things, solving problems is always good thought. So
yeah, I've been a bit jealous of that, but yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah,
I had an interesting sales call, which is good. So I need to do like a proposal for that, which is promising. Yeah, all good.
Good.
What about you?
Yeah, bit weird. I've had a bit of a, I don't know, bit of a wobble this week, and I think it's to do with some of the stuff we're going to be talking about. And yeah, whenever you were all excited about the development work that you've been doing, you're working with an API, weren't you? Pardon me. To integrate another service with our job relay product, and I was like, oh, that looks really fun. You know, you're solving problems and building things. And I was like, that's what I want to do, you know. And I've just been feeling a little bit lost recently without the kind of the projects. I feel like I need those web projects, and they are fewer and further between these days, which is a problem. And I don't think it's a problem that we're the only ones that are facing. So I think that kind of leads us nicely and miserably into the main kind of topic. And unfortunately, it's AI, isn't it? Like that's what's going on in our industry, in our world, that is causing a lot of pressure for people like us, and a lot of uncertainty. Just a big change in the market in various ways. I was given a demo the other yesterday, by a friend. So I've got a friend who is a local tennis coach. He runs coaching across multiple tennis clubs. So he has, I think, 10 or 12 coaches beneath him. He's kind of the main man. And he spoke to me I don't know, it could have been a year ago, could have been 6 months ago, I can't remember. And he was saying, I've been meaning to pick your brain about like building some kind of like coaching system. I was like, that sounds cool. And he was explaining kind of some of the stuff he'd like to do. You know, he wants his coaches to be able to kind of track players like through like their progress through the different stages and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I was like, that sounds really cool. It's like something I'd love to be involved with, but I know this. He can't afford to do this. He can't afford like us to build this for him. I knew that, and then we talked about it again like a few months back, and I was like, this is the perfect time for him to just dive into an AI tool and see what he can get done. So I said, look, mate, there's all these tools out there where you can literally just type stuff in and it will build apps for you. I don't know how good they are, but I bet you could get some kind of prototype up and running. Didn't hear anything from him for a little while. And they texted me earlier in the week. He's like, Keith, I've got something to show you. I was like, all right then. So I invited him around for a coffee. And he unfolded his laptop and like booted up this app. And I was just like, oh my God. It was a moment for me. It's one of those moments in life where like nothing after is the same as it was before. Like I looked at this thing and he starts clicking it around and he's like, oh yeah, and then so you click into the player's profile and you can see here, okay, yeah, they've mastered this skill, or he's got like a 3-point score. He's got a level 2 on this particular skill, level 1 on this skill. And then you can go in and see the player's overall profile. And it showed this like kind of spider graph kind of radar thing of the player's attributes, like against their like athleticism, temperament, skill, like 5 different things that it's mapping against. You see all their progress. He's like, oh yeah, and if you want, you can give them badges for special things. Like they brought their water bottle 5 weeks in a row, so you get like a hydration hero badge and all this stuff. Is like, I clicks it and it adds points to this house-based system, like a kind of Harry Potter, Slytherin and like house-based system. I was like, Jesus Christ, he has done this. This is a tennis coach with zero technical background, and he has done this for free on an app called Base 44. And my mind, I said to him, I was like, if you'd come to me a year ago and asked me to quote for this, I would have quoted 100 grand. Like I was looking at every page and thinking, this is beautiful. Like things were animating, like the graphs. It's not just a static graph that you see of the player. It like animates into position. Every page load had these like nice transitions. There were these cool little icons everywhere. The layout was beautiful. The design was just stunning. And he's done this all for free on his own.
And is he using it now? Is he then?
No, well, I think he was kind of wanting me to give him the kind of confidence that this is something that was good. Like he's shown a few other coaches and stuff, and I was like, Chris, the next thing you need to do is just start using it and see if it works. Like see if it actually does solve your problems. See what the bugs are.
And what does it run on? Is it a web-based app or?
Yeah, it's a web-based app, and it's React. It's a React app. So it looks to me like Base 44 uses Tailwind for like styling, uses JSON for like the data storage, it uses React for the and HTML, and that's kind of it. So I was just it was a kind of eureka moment for me. Like we've been talking for a long time about how close are we to these AI tools taking our jobs. Like, AI is good, but it's not that good. This was just a moment for me where it's like, it's here and it's amazing.
Yep.
And it works. Like, okay, maybe there are performance issues. Maybe there are some security issues. Maybe there are accessibility issues. I'm guessing that there are probably all of those things and more.
And there probably would have been all of those things if your ad had written it.
Exactly. And if you can get that far without us, then you can potentially hire a technical person later on to tidy things up. Like one of the things he's going to have to do eventually is to get it off Base 44 because they charge for usage. And I think if it was a successful product, if he ever launches this, it would get very expensive very quickly to be on Base 44. But that looks possible as well, like exporting it and putting it on. I've seen articles of people putting these things on Cloudflare, and so I mean, my mind was just blown. And then like that tied in with how difficult it is to find work to build WordPress websites, and how are we actually providing any value to anybody anymore doing what we do? All those really difficult questions. Is it a race to the bottom? Like, do we have to, like, the quotes we're putting out at the minute are less and less and less every time, to try to win the work, and B, because we know things don't take as long as they used to. So it feels like we're already in that kind of race to the bottom. And I think a lot of people are experiencing this at the moment.
I want to know from our listeners what they're experiencing. It says we've got 5 people watching. So What are you finding? Are you coming across the same sorts of issues? Is it harder to get work? Is it harder? You find yourself quoting less and less, similar sorts of things.
Yeah.
And have you seen any sort of AI stuff that has blown your mind like that? This was coming. It was always going to happen. Like
It
people who
was.
said, "Oh, it won't take people," it's nonsense. Of course, it will.
Yeah.
It definitely will. Right now, the junior developer is almost gone. It is AI. And people are posting and the right, I think, at the moment, the human is probably still needed for the overall, like decision making, and so even your friend who's done that has had the overall idea in the mind, and they've had to convey that to the AI to just code it. That's all they've had to do. But the idea comes from the human. Do you see what I mean? And I think that's still.
Do you know what, though? I bet all the ideas didn't come from the human in this case. I bet it came up with things that he hadn't even thought of.
Yeah.
Like, especially the user interface. Like, he gave it no direction as to what this thing should look like. It just looked great. So
I think, going forward, right, if he wants to use, what's his plan, just out of interest? Does he want to just use this with his tennis coaches and his coaching, whatever they're called, people who have a coach,
initially, and coaches,
coach.
And students.
No, I mean the students that are using the coaches. Presumably, they're going to log into this, and see progress and things.
Potentially, that's one of the questions. Is it a kind of player facing thing, or is this purely just for coaching? I look back to my daughter's swimming instructors using similar kind of systems. You see them there with their like tablet at the side of the pool saying, right, she can now do this, she can now do that.
Yeah.
And so that she's ready for the next stage. It's that kind of thing. But the possibilities are, A, he just keeps it in-house and it's just for him and his coaches. B, he expands that to the players and the parents. C, he opens this up and makes it a paid for subscription-based product to coaches around the world. There's.
I mean, so there's a couple of things. Firstly, I would imagine there is already one. Like, I can't imagine that no one's tapped into that market.
There are
already.
Yeah, there already exist. Yeah,
but that's beside the point here.
It is.
And my other thing is, like, if this is, we're using this example to say people are going to want to come up with ideas to build products, services, and then sell them, whether it's subscription based or not. So let's imagine he's going to do that, he's going to be in a position at some point where something goes wrong, something doesn't work properly, customers have questions. And my thought is all he can do is ask AI about those issues. And will that work going forward for a proper business and product?
Having looked at the complexity of what he built, I would have faith in AI to solve the problems if they exist and add new features. Because it's done such an amazing job just to get this thing working. I didn't see any bugs, by the way. Like, there was never a point where he clicked on something and it didn't work.
Yeah.
But
presumably he's been through that process with the AI of bugs and fixing bugs and making sure it's working.
Yeah, I don't know how much. So he's used the free plan on Base 44, which gives you 5 prompts a day for a total of 25 in a month.
Right.
And I think he's been working on this for a couple of months. So he's maybe prompted it 50 times, if that. I don't know.
Right. Not many then, is it?
And I don't know how big his prompts were. If you had this, I can imagine his initial prompt was massive. And then
a big essay,
and then he's probably refined things and added things and tweaked things after that. But back to your point, I kind of agree. And he has the same fear about moving this forward. He's like, what happens if things go wrong? I'm not a techie person. What do I do?
Yeah.
And that's a very, very valid question. Like, especially if he opens this up as a paid product and suddenly the system falls down for some reason, and he types it into Base 44, please fix this thing, and it doesn't work. Where is he then?
Or base 44 is down.
Or base 44 is down. Yeah, there's always hit a payment limit or like a plan limit. There's loads of ways that this could fall over, but they're not. None of them are insurmountable. Like you can hire technical people to fix technical problems. You can self-host things. You can,
My argument here is that even if it isn't ready now to do this, it will be.
Yeah.
It will be. It might be 5 years' time. It might be 5 months' time. It might be 15 years' time. We don't know, but it will be.
But like
at some point.
How far away are we from AIs to be doing the testing and fixes completely autonomously? I mean, that can't be outside of the realms of possibility either. Like it runs all its own tests and diagnostics, and it's like, oh, this could be better, that could be better. I'll just go and fiddle with that and create a patch and automatically deploy it and test if it works. And well, that is not outside the realms of like the technology that we're talking about here.
No, I agree.
And also improving the product. Like, how far are we away from adding a whole load of like test, like tracking and diagnostics to the app itself, tracking user behavior, and then the AI itself experimenting with fixes, changing button colors, moving the UI around, seeing what works best, keeping that? Like, this is all stuff that is presumably just around the corner, which is really terrifying for us. But I was so happy for him. Like, I was just like, I was so amazed. I was like, here's this guy that has this idea, non-technical guy, and he can just like, he can bring it to reality himself. It was so cool. Like, if you think about it purely from that framework, that this is amazing, brilliant, enabling technology. If you look at it from a developer's point of view, it's absolutely terrifying.
But it's not. I'm more on the absolutely terrifying scale. If you look at, you were mentioning there about what AI can do in terms of testing and testing different layouts and things.
Yeah.
That's what people have done. And you can take that out of the context of our jobs and put it into other jobs. You know, even if it's like take like a social media manager, they can test different types of content. It'll be able to do all that as well. So like,
that's what I mean. It'll just be able to tweak words, tweak
sentences, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Try out different headlines. I mean, I'm sure there's tools that already do
and
that,
analyze
like A/B
it
testing tools. Yeah.
So that Pandora's box is open, I'm afraid. There's no shutting it. So
there's multiple ways to look at this, and I yesterday for me, I was like, I had a split personality. I was like, half of me, the entrepreneurial, creative, problem-solving part of me was like, hell yes, I need to get on this bandwagon and I need to start building some apps and having some fun. And the other part of me was like, yeah, but my day job is numbered. Like, how much longer can I charge to hand code CSS and HTML and build WordPress themes and websites? Like, I think a little bit longer. I think a little bit longer, because WordPress, although we can still use, and I need to start doing this more, we can use tools like Cursor to help us with WordPress development, or Copilot, or whatever you're using. I do need to lean into that a bit more. But even that, like, I don't know. WordPress doesn't feel like, I mean, it's under threat existentially, I think, from really, really good AI builder tools. But I still think there's so many WordPress sites. There's still a lot of WordPress work to be done before that industry just dies. I'm not sure
WordPress is under threat, because AI will use WordPress, I think.
Why? Why would it?
Well, good question. But I mean, is it better to get AI just to build WordPress again when you want to do something? I don't think so, but maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. But do you need all the complexities of a content management system when you can potentially just type something into a prompt saying, I want you to create a new page and this is the content, go? And it maybe statically or however just creates the page and it's done. I don't know. I don't know what the future looks like. I can see a future, and I think this is what Matt and like the AI team in WordPress are working towards, where WordPress is actually a great tool to use with AI, because I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to expose the WordPress functionality to AIs so that it can be very powerful.
What's interesting about what you just said, so I've seen demonstrations of people connecting AI, whatever they are, to so you can say, create me a new page with this title and so forth and so forth. And obviously that's then in either voice control, presumably these things have got voice control, or text.
Yeah.
If you take something like WordPress away from that,
yeah,
and you just let the AI do it however it wants to do it, you're solely reliant on the mechanism of typing instructions to change anything. Do you know what I mean? And talking to something to change anything.
Right.
You don't have a method of jumping in manually and doing something.
Well, so base 44 is an example, and I'm only using this because this is what I was demoed, and I haven't seen any other tools like this. He's done everything through prompts, right? And I said to him, so pretend he's building a website, not an app. And I said, can you see the code? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, okay, I'd be interested to see what that is. So he loads up the code for you. I'm like, very well structured React code. So you can jump in and change all that stuff. So if that was just a website built on HTML and JavaScript and maybe React or whatever, you could potentially go in and manually do things. It's also hooked up with GitHub and like.
But my point being is that as a content author, I don't know any of that code. I just want to write my content.
Exactly.
And what WordPress does is provides me an interface that as a human I can understand and interact with and move things around.
But what do you not understand about typing into a text box or speaking?
But I'm saying that you've had it. Giving prompts to AI it's not exactly easy sometimes. It comes up with the wrong things because the prompt's wrong. So there's going to, and there already is going to be people who are really good at using AI because they understand prompts and what to ask it. And actually, do you want to interact with something like that? Because I'm frustrated. You type in this and then it comes up with something that's not right, and then you've got to type it again. And I mean, if that's your only interface for managing your website, is that what people want?
No, possibly not.
It might be eventually. I don't know, but I don't think it is now.
But that doesn't have to be on the interface. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, there could be an overlay where you literally click on an element and then type, or
So let's dive into some of these comments before we carry on. So hello to a few of you. Paul, hello to Paul. Hello to Mark. Thanks for joining us. And hello to Hannelsome. Is that right? If it's wrong, I apologize.
Yeah.
This is Mark. So he says, when we asked about the question about worrying about new work and things, I pivot towards a completely different approach for my business. Is on the horizon. If you can get clients, then the opportunities are great, but clients are getting harder really fast. Yeah, harder to find new clients. We are the same. I don't know if other agencies are. How many websites did we build last year?
1, 2.
It's not many, is it? I'd have to go through it, but it's 1 or 2.
If we didn't have our products right now, we would be scrambling. I mean, we've got some retainer clients that that are half decent, but we're not getting new ones.
Mark says the only saving grace I see for the interim is that clients don't know or understand about many of these possibilities. I presume AI possibilities. If they approach an agency for a pro result, we can still deliver that. I agree, but it's only a matter of time. Like, how many people today use AI? I'll use ChatGPT as an example, that didn't use it 12 months ago because they didn't really know what it was and understand it. So many customers we've spoken to all the time, they're just using AI all the time to do their own jobs, regardless of whether it's coding or not.
Yeah.
So they are going to understand, and they are eventually going to be able to,
I think so. And the types of people that have typically employed us in the past, Mark, I would say are on the savvier side of things and will be the people that are trying AI. I am guessing.
Yeah,
we're not making websites for don't want to be disparaging to any industry or any but the local mom and pop shop, that's what they would be called in America. Mom and pop shops down the high street selling whatever for the last 50 years. Like, those aren't our clients. Our clients tend to be bigger companies with marketing managers, and marketing managers tend to be switched on sometimes to technological advancements. So
Courtney, thanks for joining us. At this stage, from a client's point of view, how is AI different to website builders? A client can build their website today with Squarespace. Will they want to do it with AI in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't used AI building tools for websites yet. They do exist, don't they? I haven't used any yet, so I don't know what that experience is like just using prompts, but I can imagine it. I can imagine it being pretty good. Especially after what I've just seen. I really can. Yeah.
I suppose to turn that on its head, if your friend could have used some sort of, I don't know whether this exists or whether it's realistic, but like some sort of drag and drop interface to build the app, would that have been better than?
No.
No, it wouldn't, would it?
Not even close to being better. No. They would
have made a hot
mess of it.
As I'm talking, I'm thinking about like when we used to teach kids, when I used to teach, we used to start teaching coding with like tools like Scratch. I don't know if you've ever seen Scratch, which is like little jigsaw pieces. You've got if statements and they all slot together. I'm thinking like that sort of thing to build an app. That would probably never work. But my point being is AI is better than that already, I think. So
yeah. Oh, any more comments?
A couple more. Just Hannah's, thank you. That's fine. Paul says, Tailwind has apparently gone from 4 engineers to 1, apparently due to AI. I don't know. I did see someone disputing that, but on the web. But I don't know whether that's true. I know they've definitely gone less engineers. That's definitely not disputable. Which is interesting. And then I think that AI is getting better on creating websites, bug fixing, etc. But it's all about execution. Clients want safety and someone who helps them with decision making and consulting.
I think that is true. So my friend doesn't necessarily have the confidence to take this app forward because he feels non-technical. He doesn't feel safe to move this forward because he doesn't understand what's happening. He doesn't know how to fix things. He doesn't know how to talk about software or think about software. So I do think there's still a market for that kind of expertise, but I think we're going to have to package up our expertise very differently than we do today.
I think that statement today is true. Clients want safety and someone who helps them with decision-making consulting.
Exactly.
But it's not very far off that's not going to be true. What's your friend built? The complexity that they've done without any help, decision-making and consulting, apart from AI. I actually find it strange that they were actually confident to do that, but they're not confident to do the bit that's more the human bit. Which actually isn't technical. That's just about organization and thinking. So that's interesting.
So it's been, I don't know, I'm 50-50 doom and gloom versus incredible opportunities ahead. So let's think about, how do we transition into this world? Like, what are some of the pathways and opportunities that are presenting themselves to us now? Maybe even not opportunities, but like ways that we're being forced into making a living. Like, what's changing? What are some of the ways that like you and I could make money going forward? How do you think this is going to change Highrise Digital?
I don't know. I mean, I said, we've chatted before, and I've said building websites is coming to an end fast, I think. For the sorts of websites that we build. Maybe you'll still end up with the, 6-figure websites being built by agencies for a good time to come because they're big projects and so on. But I do think the sorts of projects and we've seen it, there's less and less of them around. So what are we going to do?
Yeah.
I don't have the answer to that. So
I made a couple of notes of like a few potential paths. One is just to charge a lot less and join that kind of race to the bottom.
To the bottom, yeah.
So there are loads more tools available now to help us build websites. We don't need to do as much custom coding as we used to. You're often saying on some of these projects, what am I going to do? Because most of it's going to be install a theme, tweak some colors, change theme.json, and away you go kind of thing. Create a few front-end patterns, and everything else can be done in the block editor. So there's that kind of potential race to the bottom. Charge less for the same thing. That's a genuine option. There's and that ties in with learning these AI tools a bit more deeply. Like, get really fast at delivering the thing that you deliver, so that even though you're charging slightly less, you're still profitable. That's an option going forward, but it's an option. Again, it is a race to the bottom. Like, that's just you might chase that down for a while, but eventually you're gonna hit the bottom. And then for me, products and productized services are still kind of crucial, and they still have a place. So
yeah,
we've had a lot of success with Job Relay. We took a very niche, specific problem, turned it into a product, and have created a really great business out of that. We've done the same thing with RecPress to not quite the same level, but it makes, I don't know how much it makes, like $40K a year or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it ticks along and earns us a decent amount of money. So there's that kind of things. There's something that you put on the show notes today. The number of plugins that are being submitted to the plugin directory has rocketed because people are presumably using AI to build all the stuff that they couldn't build before because they had the ideas and they didn't have the skills. And now it's like, I can do it. That thing I had in my head for like the last 5 years, I can actually do it now because I've got AI tools. So there's things like that, all those kind of products. And I still think another way to potentially make money today in WordPress is the website as a service model. So you productize the whole delivering a website, probably for a specific industry. We could do it for recruitment, for example. We could, we've seen it many times. There's many competitors in the recruitment space, which puts me off. Maybe it shouldn't put me off, but it does. So you could do that kind of thing for your niche, whatever your niche is, like a particular type of charity or content creators or Formula One drivers or whatever. There's endless potential niches for that, where you can build up some expertise and build up a kind of bank of knowledge and code that you can just reuse and reuse and reuse. I think that's a way that we can still make money. I think there's some consultative kind of rules that you came across. You were on a sales call the other day, weren't you? Where there was a consultant, like a website kind of consultant on, which I thought was really interesting. So they're not building the website, or maybe they are.
Might be, I think.
They might be in this case, but they do act as like that kind of like, you want a website, you don't really know how to get one. I know how to get one. You pay me a certain amount of money and I'll make sure I'll go out and do the procurement and the interviews and the talking to the developers. There's that kind of thing. Consulting.
Coming back to AI, is that sort of thing going to still be needed? Because I don't need you to consult, because actually I can just use AI to test.
But you can't use AI to interview people. Like, you could literally be running the process of like talking to 5 development agencies and doing all that for a client, bringing in the quotes, presenting them to the client. You could be taking all that
right. So
away
you mean
from
that part of it? You don't mean sort of like, because I see some people going to a consultant saying, this is what I want to do, and they might say, well, it's better to do it this way because of X, Y, and Z, or we could do it this way if you think this is important. Well, actually, my point being is that the person wants the website, doesn't need to do that, because they can just do that for free anymore. Ask AI, build it quickly, test it, move on. Doesn't work, next one.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's all free. The code's all free. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I guess then it comes down to potentially the consulting is AI consulting. So it's like you've an idea in your head. I'm really good at getting AI to come to build prototypes. Like, I've got the software knowledge or the website knowledge or the industry knowledge or whatever, or the prompt knowledge to do this really well and really effectively. So instead of going to that development shop over there and paying them 20 grand, give me £1,000 and I'll build you a prototype. That kind of thing. That's we're kind of moving outside the WordPress space now. But I think that's that is something that a lot of us are going to have to think about. Like, is WordPress still the place to be? You know,
Okay.
it's changed. It's getting better in many ways, but it's getting a lot harder to make money in the ways that we used to. So maybe we need to start looking outside of the industry of WordPress, stay in the tech industry, but yeah.
And interesting, like you say about people who have got all these ideas and now they can just go for it and make them. You know, the ideas are the hard part, I think.
I find that the easy part. That's a bit.
If you don't have a list of ideas to do, then it doesn't matter. Unless AI can come up with the ideas, probably it can.
It probably can. Yeah. I was thinking about that because I do have some ideas and they're all over the place. Like, they're completely different. It's just like, oh, I wish I had a little app that I could keep track of my paddle tennis scores with my mates so that we could see like win percentage and all this stuff. There's stuff like that out there, but it's never quite what you want it to be.
But that's not going to be a money-making app, is it?
It could be. Could be. Anything could be. I think.
It is, but it isn't, because you're never going to have enough people want to buy it for such a niche thing, are you? You know, I would think.
Really?
Well, it's a marketing problem more than a building problem.
Well, and you've hit the nail on the head there.
You can build anything, you know.
That is the new. Well, it's always been the skill to know in my eyes, but like, it is even more important now. It's even more important now because you can now have the ideas, create the product for free. Then what's the next step? Then it's a marketing problem. So that's the only problem that exists in a way, is marketing. Like, once you have the idea. So yeah, getting really good at that seems to be even more critical than before. Yeah. Facebook ads, apparently.
I'd love to give him some more money.
Oh, I hate the thought that is like the most effective way to get stuff out there. But if it is, it is. You know.
I logged back into Facebook the other week to sell something on the marketplace with some furniture that when we're clearing out after Christmas and stuff. And Facebook is an absolute, I don't know what the word is. It's just horrible. I literally scrolled down my feed for the first time, and it must be 8 out of 10 posts were no one that I followed. It was just absolute crap. Yeah. And I mean absolute crap. I mean, people sat reading that every day.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised society's in the state it's in. It's utterly junk.
I haven't been on Facebook since God knows when. I don't know.
It's 8 years. Awful. You know. Anyway, that's beside
the
point.
But if I knew I could give Facebook £1 and I get £10 back, I'd probably do it. I'd probably do it. Yeah, so there you are. I don't know. Should we cover any more of our topics today? I feel like we've already kind of we could give us a small update on a few other things we've been doing if you want. Do you want to talk about integration?
Well, just integrating another service. It's not particularly rocket science. Just trying to get jobs to be pulled from a different service. So that was that. I've been working on doing that. It's a new
system, though, isn't it? In terms of this one, is like a webhook system, which seems to be really cool compared to some of the other ways we've had to integrate with these platforms.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. You could do it in the more traditional, you know, keep pulling the data every hour or every 2 hours or whatever the thing is. But webhooks allow you to sort of get the data when you know something's changed, rather than on a consistent basis when nothing might have changed and you're just constantly checking.
Can you describe to me in a way that I can understand exactly what a webhook is?
So a webhook is, so let's take a job, for example. The provider might have a webhook that runs when a job is added, edited, or updated, as they call it, or destroyed, deleted. And what happens at any time that those 3 actions run, if you've registered a webhook to run on those actions, then what they will do is they will send data about that action and what's happened to a URL that you specify. So, for example, if you add a new job, they might ping your URL with the ID of the new job. And then what happens is, on that URL that they've pinged, you would take that information, use the API to go and get the job and then save it. Okay. Rather than every hour getting all the jobs, looping through each job, checking whether things check and so on. So you're just actioning that. You're doing something because of an action that's happened, and you need to do something because something's changed.
So it's a webhook because it's a system that hits a URL, sends data to a specific URL when something happens.
Correct.
Okay, that makes.
And sometimes some services send you all the data at that point. So if you've had a job that's been added, they just send all of that job data to that webhook. In this instance, they don't. They just send a small piece of information, the ID, some client's information, and so on, and then you've to go and get the job based on that ID or something like that. So various different types, but that's why it's different. And I think that's better because you're not having to handle lots of data a lot of times. Yeah. So I don't have to go and get, all 100 jobs every time and loop through them and so on. I can just worry about one job at a time because whenever the job's added, I'll get I'll get a notification sent to that webhook, and then I can do something.
Yeah.
Which is much better. So yeah, that's what I've been working on this week. Lots to do, but it's getting there.
Yeah, cool. Very good. Very good. And the other little bit of news, well, it's not even really news yet. It's more of a kind of question is we have the opportunity to join a recruitment network. So it's a network of, I can't remember, is it 300 or 500 recruitment agencies of various sizes. They all join as members. We would join as a partner or a service provider or something like that. It's about £2,500 a year, I think it would be for us to join. And it would give us the opportunity to be listed on their hub, be involved in like all the chats, go to their events, be on their podcasts, be on their panels, etc., etc. And half of me thinks that this is a really good opportunity and it's something we haven't tried before and it might really work. And there's another part of me that's just like, quite a chunk of money. Are we going to make the most of it? I think that's one of your concerns as well. So I don't know. I think we're going to do it. But if anyone has any thoughts on that, if anyone has ever tried that kind of thing before, I would be very, very interested to hear what your experiences were like. If you've joined a kind of professional network like that, did it go well? Did it go badly? Yeah.
For me, it's a bit like if you buy a ticket to a WordCamp and you go, one of your objectives to go is to meet new people and engage in new prospects and network and you know what I mean. If you buy your ticket and you just go and sit in the corner, you won't. The ticket doesn't buy that. You know what I mean? It gives you the opportunity because it puts you in a space with those people. But there's no point just buying the ticket. Yeah. You've got to go and have, a strategy of how you're going to speak to people, who you're going to try and find, that sort of thing. That slightly different, I know, but that's the sort of like the sort of example that I can tie it to, sort of thing. You've got to show up, you've got to talk to people, you've got to mingle, you've got to do these right things. And I think for what I wanted to know more of was that all of the marketing blurb says about we give the opportunity for X, Y, Z, A, B, and C, but they don't really say how many and when and when they. It's sort of like, oh, so am I going to get like one of those, or I'm never going to get one of those, or you might get one. Like I'd like to say, well, we run webinars every month, and you will definitely get to appear on 2 of them in your 12 months. And then you can run it and think, well, is it worth it then?
Yeah, I think that might be up to our enthusiasm to some degree. I was thinking of a potential bit of content that we could do that I think would be really good, and that's a workshop that shows people how to build a website for free on WordPress with all the free tools. Install Job Manager, get your job board up and running. There you go. There's your WordPress website. Now, if you want a proper one and built by professionals, we can take it to the next level. But if we can get more people using WordPress within that space, we can sell more of our products to them potentially. So like that content of saying, here you go, guys, here's some very, very valuable free advice. Get people using the platform that we love and that we want them to be on, and then we can start potentially selling our products and services. I think that could be a really, really good angle for us.
I think I think we should probably do it.
Yeah.
But for me, it's it's one of those things. They say they've got sort of like regional meetups and things that you can go to. And we're both quite introvert. We're not. I don't like go walking into a room full of 100 people and mingling and chatting about me and whoever they are. I don't mind speaking to them. I don't mind standing up on a stage and talking to them.
Yeah,
but I'm not sort of a mingler and I've run out of things to say and that
talker.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that's what you need to be to take advantage. Like you get the audience, you get the room, everyone's in the room, and they might want your services, but you've got to go and do that. And it's one of those things where you think, oh yeah, it's that regional meeting tomorrow, isn't it? I'm like, I can't be bothered, I'm not. There's no point. We have to go because you're going to pay for it.
I think we have to be on the panels, and we have to be giving talks, and we have to be doing the podcast, and we have to be creating video content and courses and stuff for them. That's what I think we have to do. Courtney, really great comment here. She says, my opinion with these things is they're not selling it for you. You get access to their breakfast, networking, etc., but you still need to travel and turn up to the networking meets. Completely agree. We will only get out of this what we put in.
Yes.
Like you say, if we just give them more money and just sit back and like, oh look, we've got our little logo on their page, like that's never going to do it.
And that's my worry, is that I don't want to get into, you pay for it today, and then before you know it, it's the end of February, and you think, well, what have we done? We haven't really, and it's all, we've got to be on the ball straight away,
Yeah. So, well, we will update you next time in terms of the decision that we ended up making. But that is enough for today's show. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for watching along live on YouTube. Thank you for listening on your podcast player. If you did enjoy the show, before you leave, please do follow us and drop us a like and subscribe. Remember to hit that bell so you get the notifications when we go live. And last of all, the last little favor is to share this on your network. If you could put a little post out for us on Twitter, X, Blue Sky, Facebook, whatever it is, your WhatsApp groups, LinkedIn would be great as well. It's always really, really appreciated. We're obviously a really small show, and any kind of reach like that would be much appreciated. We will see you again, hopefully next week. See you soon.
Bye-bye.